Greetings, it's Sue with today's Bible reading for February 24th, and I'm reading two quick chapters today, Numbers 31 and 32 from the World English Bible. Thanks for joining me today. I hope your day's going well. Verse 1. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Avenge the children of Israel on the Midianites. Afterward, you shall be gathered to your people. How'd you like to be given that message? Go do this, and after that, you're going to die. Wow. That's the kind of relationship God had and Moses had with God. Amazing. Verse 3. Moses spoke to the people, saying, Arm men from among you for war, that they may go against Midian to execute Yahweh's vengeance on Midian. You shall send 1,000 out of every tribe throughout all the tribes of Israel to the war. So there were delivered out of the thousands of Israel 1,000 from every tribe, 12,000 armed for war. Moses sent them 1,000 of every tribe to the war with Phinehas, the son of Eleazar the priest, to the war with the vessels of the sanctuary and the trumpets for the alarm in his hand. They fought against Midian as Yahweh commanded Moses. They killed every male. They killed the kings of Midian with the rest of their slain, Evi, Rechem, Zur, Hur, and Reba, the 5 kings of Midian. They also killed Balaam, the son of Beor, with the sword. The children of Israel took the women of Midian captive, with their little ones, and all their livestock, all their flocks, all their goods, they took as plunder. All the cities in the places in which they lived, all their encampments, they burned with fire. They took all the captives and all the plunder, both of man and of animal. They brought the captives with the prey and the plunder to Moses and to Eleazar the priest, and to the congregation of the children of Israel, to the camp at the plains of Moab, which are by the Jordan, at Jericho. Moses and Eleazar the priest, with all the princes of the congregation, went out to meet them outside the camp. Moses was angry with the officers of the army, the captains of thousands and the captains of hundreds, who came from the service of the war. Moses said to them, Have you saved all the women alive? Behold, these caused the children of Israel through the counsel of Balaam to commit trespass against Yahweh in the matter of Peor, and so the plague was among the congregation of Yahweh. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman who has known man by lying with him. But all the girls who have not known man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. Encamp outside the camp for 7 days. Whoever has killed any person and whoever has touched any slain, purify yourselves on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day you and your captives. You shall purify every garment, and all that is made of skin, and all works of goat hair, and all things made of wood. Eleazar the priest said to the men of war who went to the battle, This is the statute of the law which Yahweh has commanded Moses. However, the gold and the silver, the bronze, the iron, the tin, and the lead, everything that may withstand the fire, you shall make to go through the fire, and it shall be clean. Nevertheless, it shall be purified with the water for impurity. All that doesn't withstand the fire you shall make to go through the water. You shall wash your clothes on the 7th day, and you shall become clean. Afterward you shall come into the camp. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Count the plunder that was taken both of man and animal, you and Eleazar the priest, and the heads of the fathers' households of the congregation, and divide the plunder into 2 parts, between the men skilled in war who went out to battle and all the congregation. Levy a tribute to Yahweh of the men of war who went out to battle, 1 soul of 500 of the persons of the cattle and of the donkeys and of the flocks. Take it from their half and give it to Eleazar the priest for Yahweh's wave offering. Of the children of Israel, half you shall take 1 drawn out of every 50 of the persons, of the cattle, of the donkeys, and of the flocks, of all the livestock, and give them to the Levites who perform the duty of Yahweh's tabernacle. Moses and Eleazar the priest did as Yahweh commanded Moses. Now the plunder over and above the booty which the men of war took was 675,000 sheep, 72,000 head of cattle, 61,000 donkeys, and 32,000 persons in all, of the women who had not known man by lying with him. The half which was the portion of those who went out to war was in number 337,500 sheep, and Yahweh's tribute of the sheep was 675. The cattle were 36,000, of which Yahweh's tribute was 72. The donkeys were 30,500, of which Yahweh's tribute was 61. The persons were 16,000, of whom Yahweh's tribute was 32 persons. Moses gave the tribute, which was Yahweh's wave offering, to Eleazar the priest, as Yahweh commanded Moses, of the children of Israel's half, which Moses divided off from the men who fought. Now the congregation's half was 337,500 sheep, 36,000 head of cattle, 30,500 donkeys, and 16,000 persons. Even of the children of Israel's half, Moses took one drawn out of every 50, both of men and of animal, and gave them to the Levites, who performed the duty of Yahweh's tabernacle, as Yahweh commanded Moses. The officers who were over the thousands of the army, the captains of thousands and the captains of hundreds, came near to Moses. They said to Moses, "Your servants have taken the sum of the men of war who are under our command, and there lacks not one man of us. We have brought Yahweh's offering, what every man found: gold ornaments, armlets, bracelets, signet rings, earrings, and necklaces, to make atonement for our souls before Yahweh." Moses and Eleazar the priest took their gold, even the worked jewels, and all the gold of the wave offering that they offered up to Yahweh, of the captains of thousands and of the captains of hundreds, was 16,750 shekels. The men of war had taken booty, every man for himself. Moses and Eleazar the priest took the gold of the captains of thousands and of hundreds, and brought it to the tent of meeting for a memorial for the children of Israel before Yahweh. Now the children of Reuben and the children of Gad had a very great multitude of livestock. They saw the land of Jazer and the land of Gilead. Behold, the place was a place for livestock. Then the children of Gad and the children of Reuben came and spoke to Moses and to Eleazar the priest and to the princes of the congregation, saying, Ataroth, Dibon, Jazer, Nimrah, Heshbon, Elealeh, Sebam, Nebo, and beyond, the land which Yahweh struck before the congregation of Israel, is a land for livestock, and your servants have livestock. If we have found favor in your sight, let this land be given to your servants for possession. Don't bring us over the Jordan. Okay, so it says, this is the children of Gad and the children of Reuben. So they're saying, we like it here. We want to stay here. We don't want to cross the Jordan into the promised land. That's what they're asking permission for. Moses said to the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben, shall your brothers go to war while you sit here? Why do you discourage the heart of the children of Israel from going over into the land which Yahweh has given them? Your fathers did so when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to see the land. For when they went up into the valley of Eshcol and saw the land, they discouraged the heart of the children of Israel, that they should not go into the land which Yahweh had given them. Yahweh's anger burned in that day, and he swore, saying, surely none of those who came up out of Egypt from 20 years old and upward shall see the land which I swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, because they have not wholly followed me, except Caleb the son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite, and Joshua the son of Nun, because they have followed Yahweh completely. Yahweh's anger burned against Israel, and he made them wander back and forth in the wilderness 40 years, until all the generation who had done evil in Yahweh's sight was consumed. Behold, you have risen up in your father's place an increase of sinful men, to increase the fierce anger of Yahweh toward Israel. For if you turn away from after him, he will yet again leave them in the wilderness, and you will destroy all these people. They came near to him and said, we will build sheepfolds here for our livestock and cities for our little ones, but we ourselves will be ready, armed to go before the children of Israel until we have brought them to their place. Our little ones shall dwell in the fortified cities because of the inhabitants of the land. We will not return to our houses until the children of Israel have all received their inheritance, for we will not inherit with them on the other side of the Jordan and beyond, because our inheritance has come to us on this side of the Jordan eastward. Moses said to them, if you will do this thing, if you will arm yourselves to go before Yahweh to war, and every one of your armed men will pass over the Jordan before Yahweh until he has driven out his enemies from before him, and the land is subdued before Yahweh, then afterward you shall return and be clear of obligation to Yahweh and to Israel. Then this land shall be your possession before Yahweh. So, in case you don't know, just to give you a visual while we're reading this, if you look at the land of Israel, in a north-south orientation, you have the Sea of Galilee, and then the Jordan River runs south below it. I guess the Sea of Galilee empties into the Jordan and it runs southward. And down at the end of that is the Dead Sea. And so I guess it must, I'm just thinking out loud, because I think the Dead Sea is a much lower sea level. But that's not my point. My point is just to give you a visual. So if you have the Jordan River running north-south, then all this is taking place on the eastern side. So looking at the map to the right of the river, and they're going to cross over, going westward into the Canaan land on the west side of the Jordan. So here's the tribes of Gad and Reuben that want to go ahead and settle on the east side and not cross over. But they said, if you let us do that, we'll go ahead and go to war with you and subdue the giants that are on the other side, but we'll come back over here to live. Verse 23. But if you will not do so, behold, you have sinned against Yahweh, and be sure your sin will find you out. Build cities for your little ones and folds for your sheep, and do that which has proceeded out of your mouth. When they talk about these things, they say it so simply, but you can imagine how much time all this took. Going to war against the Midianites, how long did that conquest last? And then here he's saying, go ahead and build your livestock. Your, what do you say? What do you call it? Folds. Cities and for your little ones and folds for your sheep. That must have taken a while. I know they had tens of thousands of people to do the work, but still. Verse 28. So Moses commanded, I think I skipped one part. The children of Gad and the children of Reuben spoke to Moses, saying, your servants will do as my Lord commands. Our little ones, our wives, our flocks, and all our livestock shall be there in the cities of Gilead. But your servants will pass over, every man who is armed for war before Yahweh to battle, as my Lord says. Now remember, this is more than likely, there's some debate about this, but more than likely, genetically corrupted races of people, these giants. And I personally believe that's why they had them go ahead and kill any of the women that had been with them, because then they were going to be able to procreate more of this illegitimate, if you will, race. It's unsanctioned and very destructive and evil, wicked races of people. So this isn't God just, having some sort of prejudice against humans. These were a different creature, almost, if you will, that he was eradicating off the face of the earth. Very destructive, very evil races of people. So it says, and I can't even go a step further. This is all speculation, guys. This isn't doctrine, but some speculate that the reason they populated the land of Canaan, the reason the enemy did that, is because God had made that promise to Abraham that that would be his land. So what would you do if you were the enemy of God? You would populate it and try to take that land first, right? Make it difficult. So there's whole books written about that. It's very interesting. But if you understand some of that, you can understand the story a little better and why and how it played out the way it did. It's actually the storyline that runs from Genesis to Revelation. Excuse me. So where did I leave off here? Verse 28 again. So Moses commanded concerning them to Eleazar the priest, and to Joshua son of Nun, and to the heads of the fathers' households of the tribes of the children of Israel. Moses said to them, if the children of Gad and the children of Reuben will pass over with you over the Jordan, every man who is armed to battle before Yahweh, and the land is subdued before you, then you shall give them the land of Gilead for possession. But if they will not pass over with you armed, they shall have possessions among you in the land of Canaan. The children of Gad and the children of Reuben answered, saying, as Yahweh has said to your servants, so we will do. We will pass over armed before Yahweh into the land of Canaan, and the possession of our inheritance shall remain with us beyond the Jordan. Moses gave to them, even to the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben and to the half tribe of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, the kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amorites. That was a giant. The kingdom of Og, another giant. King of Bashan, the kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, the land according to its cities and borders, even the cities of the surrounding land. The children of Gad built Dibon, Ataroth, Aror, Troth, Shaphan, Jazer, Jogbeha, Beth Nimrah, and Beth Horon, fortified cities and folds for sheep. The children of Reuben built Heshbon, Eliah, Kiriathaim, Nebo, Baal Maon, their names being changed, and Sigma. They gave other names to the cities which they built. The children of Machir, son of Manasseh, went to Gilead, took it, and disposed the Amorites who were therein. Those are giants. So the children of Machir, the son of Manasseh, went to Gilead, took it, and dispossessed the Amorites who were therein. Moses gave Gilead to Machir, the son of Manasseh, and he lived therein. Jair, the son of Manasseh, went and took its villages and called them Havoth Jair. Nova went and took Kenath and its villages and called it Nova after his own name. Now you notice it says dispossess the Amorites. Now this is not taught in mainstream conventional um, history, archaeology, but what biblical scientists and researchers and scholars believe, what many of them believe, is that this dispossession, many of the inhabitants of Canaan, these evil races of people, many of them were killed, but they also scattered into surrounding areas, even they believe as far as the Americas. And this is why they're finding archaeological artifacts all over the world, all through the Levant, in Greece, in Northern Africa, and even the US, that have ties to this region. They have writings, they have DNA samples, they have Phoenician and Egyptian items found in the US. They have this whole pathway they can see that looks like this might have been from when this group dispersed when they were being invaded. It's very interesting theory, call it a theory, but they have a ton of research supporting that historical narrative. Very, very interesting. Look into it sometime. And, that knowledge, that historical account makes so much of the Bible fall into place. So it's worth noting. Well, that's it for today's reading. Thanks for joining me. Tomorrow we'll have 2 more chapters, and there are 2 more readings out of this book. So we have tomorrow's and the next day, and then we're off into the book of Deuteronomy. Thanks for joining me. God bless you. Till next time. Well, if anyone's still listening, I want to add a thought to what I was saying about the dispersion of the giant races from Canaan. I re-listened to it and had a couple extra thoughts. I want to be sure to add to that. One, I mentioned that they have found these archaeological items, and not just archaeological, but historical writings, legends among native civilizations, not just in the areas I mentioned, but also Central and South America and beyond, other places as well. I just didn't want to. I wanted to make sure to include that because it's numerous. They include many of the great wonders of the world, the mystery megaliths, and other such architecture that no one seems to be able to explain. And most importantly, what they found are skeletons, extremely large skeletons throughout many of these regions. You can find this thanks to the prolific knowledge base of the internet and some diligent scholars. You can find much of this information out there. Credible scholarly information, references about this subject if you're interested. A lot of it in the, like I said, mainstream universities and the Smithsonian circles it just won't be acknowledged because they don't, they're following that Darwinian mindset. But if you believe the Bible's true and you follow these researchers of integrity and see how these pieces fit into the Bible, and all the answers aren't there yet, but it's very intriguing and interesting to look into because it not only holds tidbits from the past and not only information to help understand the Bible, but it's clues to what's coming in the future. Because Jesus said, as it was in those days, so it's going to be at the coming of the Son of Man. So it's important. It isn't just reckless speculation. It's an important part of biblical research that needs to be given serious consideration. So that's all I'll share about that for today. See you later.